Welcome to Toni Unleashed, the podcast where we unleash the truth about all things pets.
Our research and anecdotal evidence matched with pet expert interviews will help you help your pet thrive.
We are here to answer questions, divulge information, and spread awareness about what's really going on in the world of pets.
I am your co-host, Emily Taylor, pet nutrition enthusiast.
And I'm Toni Shalasky, owner of Healthy Pet Products with 3 locations in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area, and recently expanded to Port Charlotte, Florida.
Welcome to the show.
Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Toni Unleashed. We received some questions from one of our listeners that we thought we would share with you. A lot of great questions in case anyone else has had the same questions. So this listener lives in Texas. She has an adult husky and she wants to introduce fresh food, but is not sure if she should do home cooked or how to start raw, etc. So we're going to talk through all of her questions, but I think this will be a really great learning experience for everybody.
Yeah, she had some really good questions, and I'm excited to answer them with our listeners. And this is just literally just Toni and I's advice, our thoughts, based on what we've been through, what we've used ourselves, what we heard from customers. So it's not the end all. These answers are not end all, be all. And we'd love to hear from our listeners too, if they have any ways that they would answer the questions any differently. I will start with the first question. If I would rather cook my own food, what types of recipes / where can I find them? And what should I be using? So what I told her was, if you're just getting into this, I would not overwhelm yourself with home cooking, because it can be the best way to feed your dog. But if you're not complete and balanced and hitting the nutritional needs, it can be detrimental.
Right.
And that's hard to do, and it's stressful.
It is very hard to do, and it's stressful.
I do not have the time.
We don't recommend it. I mean,
if you have the time,
we're not against it. Absolutely not against it, but it's going to be time consuming.
Yeah.
And you can get formulas.
Dr. Becker has a lot of great formulas. Dr. Judy Morgan.
I think balanceit.com is a website you can pay for a formula. I don't know if you touch on this later on in our notes, but another cool thing that we carry are base formulas. And
I did not. Good call.
So the base formulas, Honest Kitchen has one, Grandma Lucy's has one, Dr. Marty's, Sojo's. So they even tell you how much meat to add, or if an oil is needed, or whatever is needed to balance the meal. So basically that base mix plus X amount of meat balances the meal. So
that's a great start.
Highly recommend doing that instead of actually home cooking, because there's more to home cooking. You cannot just feed chicken and rice.
And you cannot just feed ground turkey.
No. You just can't do it. I don't care if you think your dog is doing great on it. Your dog's not doing great on it. You cannot just fucking feed chicken and rice.
You're missing all of the essential vitamins and minerals from organs and bones and other muscle meats. I mean,
minerals from
minerals.
Bones. Yeah. Gosh, there's just so much to it that please consider other things.
So she did ask, the second question is, she asked if there's a website or a book that outlines some recipes based on different size, breeds, etc. I told her, and I don't know, Toni, if you're familiar with her, I am obsessed with Ava Frick. Mm-hmm. Dr. Ava Frick, she is from Arizona, and she lists out the different ways to feed a dog. So she does mention breed feeding. So when she mentions feeding breeds, it's more of those true, rare, well-bred dogs. If you're getting a dog from Egypt, what are the more,
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. And or the country, what country of origin is this dog from, and what are the more seasonal fruits and vegetables and meat availability around that. Yeah.
Well, that seasonal feeding is a whole other.
So she talks about seasonal feeding. Mm-hmm. She talks about seasonal
So why don't we have her on the show?
I reached out. Well, I reached out to her about something else and she didn't respond. So I will reach out to her on the show.
Okay.
And she metabolic feeding based on how much your dog metabolizes food and how much energy they're burning if they're a working breed. According to Chinese medicine, warming, cooling protein. So that is something, because she lives in Texas and it's hitting summertime, I did recommend focusing on neutral or cooling proteins.
Definitely.
There's Ava Frick, and she has a whole informational guideline on her website about different ways to feed for a dog. Yeah, she's great.
Another question is, what are some of the recipes you are regularly feeding your dog? I don't know how to answer this one.
How we are.
Oh, what we do?
Yeah.
Oh, I do everything.
Yeah, that's what I told her, everything.
I mean, every brand, every protein. I mean, I know you have to be careful with Sweet Pea.
Yes.
Sweet Pea has protein allergies, so primarily eats lamb, right?
Mm-hmm. Which is lamb, going back to the Chinese medicine, lamb is a very inflammatory, hot protein.
Interesting.
Which is very surprising because
that's what she thrives on. And she's an allergy dog. And normally allergy dogs thrive on cooling meats. Huh.
Yeah.
So what we feed, honestly, we change proteins. I am a avid 100% raw feeder. And I use every brand that we carry, including we have a local butcher that has their own formula. I feed that one as well. I don't stay away from any proteins, not even chicken. My dogs aren't allergic to chicken. So I recommend feeding as much variety as possible between proteins and brands.
Yeah, I agree. I do that for my cat and my dog, Kendrick. I just rotate through anything and everything.
Yeah. It's the best way. They would never eat the same thing ever, just like us. We never eat the same thing every day.
And sometimes I even just go to, kind of like Toni was saying, I go to the strip district here in Pittsburgh and I just get some organs.
Yeah.
Throw them in their bowl.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I always have a bag of Ziwi Peak in the cupboard because in case I forget to thaw the raw or forget the bag at work or whatever.
And that's fine too. I mean, we often go from feeding raw, maybe like a can, if we have it on hand, Ziwi Peak, whatever, it's fine to go.
And you throw kibble in sometimes. You do the hunting thing with kibble, don't you?
Yeah. And Sweet Pea, with her old age, it helps keep the weight on.
Yeah, for sure.
I do it for like the carb and the carb load.
I mean, some and younger dogs too that are very active and have that high metabolism.
Right.
I think sometimes there's no way around it. Even if you're an avid raw feeder, they do need starch to burn because you can only feed so much raw food.
Yeah.
A good feedback from one of our newer part-timers that listened to the episode and did threw the kibble in her yard. Yeah. She has a fenced-in backyard, and she told me, I would guess maybe a half acre. And she literally just tossed all through her backyard because she has a lab that's not even 1 year. And he hunted and hunted and hunted.
Wow.
And then after finally finding everything, I can't remember how long she said he hunted, but he slept for 45 minutes.
Yeah. I got very similar feedback.
She was so excited.
Yeah. And it's so easy because you just
toss it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like the easiest trick and they're fed.
Yeah.
And then they're tired because they're sniffing so much.
Yeah.
I got very similar feedback from a friend who's fostering 2 dogs. And they're both very high energy. And she was like, fuck it. Go find your food. And she's like, they passed out right after.
It's awesome mental and physical stimulation.
Yes, I do it for Sweet Pea. If I want to take Kendrick on a really long walk and she can't keep up, I will throw kibble all in the house.
Oh.
So she just has to look for it in the entire house.
One of these days I'll do it for DeSoto. One of these days. I'll probably do it with Ziwi Peak though.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Raw meat versus cooked meat, she asks. What do you think?
It depends on the... It depends.
And you can't cook
raw meat.
Raw formulas.
Yeah.
Raw dog food formulas. You cannot cook them.
Yeah.
Maisie just asked us that question.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think Maisie's having some issues right now. But anyhow, that's another story. I'm a big believer in cooked food for senior dogs. as they start to decline, I think they just, you're eliminating one step of that processing and digesting by cooking it for senior dogs. And when I'm talking senior, I'm talking 13, 14, 15. So, yeah, honestly, I think it's just the situation.
And I think it's okay to experiment and find
Yeah.
what works best for your dog.
Yeah, we're proponents of both.
Yeah. This is a good one.
That's a tough one to answer. Go ahead.
Which one?
How much per month
Oh,
or week should I expect to spend?
yeah, that's tough. I guess it depends on how much you want to spend to some extent.
Yeah, because, and honestly, I mean, I ask customers this all the time. Where's your budget? Because if it can't be 100% raw food,
Well, let's
that's
look it up.
fine.
Let's look up. Let's say, I'm assuming this dog, it's a husky, it's a
70
male.
pounds.
Let's say 70, 75 pounds. What
Okay.
brand of raw food do you want me to look up to see?
Primal has an easy calculator, even though I'm not a huge Primal advocate.
Okay, so we're looking for a dog. I'm going to go to Primal's raw food dog calculator. Okay, so for a 70-pound dog, they recommend about 4 patties a day.
All right.
3.75.
So let's just say
We'll just
bag of
round up.
patties, chicken is what right now? $40?
Yeah,
And that's
12 patties.
12 patties.
And then, so they recommend.
So that's 3 days. So we're talking at least $80 a week.
Yeah.
$250 to $300 a month for a 70-ish pound dog.
Yep.
So that's sounds right, because that's normally what I.
And then after you buy, so a lot of these companies have their, if you buy it from an independent retailer,
Yes.
you do Astra Loyalty, which means after you buy 12 bags of dog food, you buy one for free.
Yeah, you get one for free.
Yeah.
And if $250 to $300 is above your budget, you don't have to feed 100% raw. We could do one meal raw and one meal kibble, or mix the two, and we could cut that in half easily.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we absolutely can tailor it to what your budget is. I think the most important thing is the more real food, whether it's raw or cooked, the healthier your dog and cat would be.
Right.
So we encourage people to at least, which is what Dr. Becker recommends, at least 20% of their daily diet.
And I mean, you can even add, you can get creative. I mean, you can go to, your local market and try to get some organ meat and throw that into the mix. And that's going to be, it's going to be more time consuming to go out and buy it and then, put it in your containers and whatever. But you can do that, or you can
feed necks, chicken, duck, and turkey necks.
Yeah.
Are an easy way. Some people do chicken backs, and that's an easy way to still feed raw food and cut your budget down.
Yeah.
Easy. And that's excellent. Protein. The neck bones in there are so fine that they easily crunch through them.
Yeah.
Natural source of glucosamine, great for the joints, great for the poop, creates solid poop. So is there a way to tell if your dog, if you aren't feeding them enough nutrients or too much?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah, totally.
Tell me how.
Flaky skin can be one, potentially, not meeting all the nutritional needs.
Yes.
That can be one. I think it's really important to know.
It means omega-3s are low.
Any muscle loss or atrophy.
Oh, definitely.
Especially if you have a young dog.
Yeah.
That could be huge. Behavioral changes. And that can be eating things like eating random things outside that they usually wouldn't, and trying to lick things around the house that they're not usually licking, to try to just like gain nutrients. Abnormal whining, potentially. I think this is all, I think your dog best. There's needy whining, and there's discomfort or Needing more whining. Eating their own stool or their own poop can be one, or other animals'
Grass.
poop and grass can be signs of nutritional
Rocks.
deficiencies. Eating rocks. Weight loss, is number one. And a lot of hair loss. If your dog is losing more hair than normal or is having any bald spots, it could be definitely a lack of nutrients.
Thyroid dysfunction.
Yeah. Lethargy. Gum levels aren't normal. That could be lack of hydration, lack of nutrients. Yeah, all those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she asks, is there anything to stay away from? Like too much carbs or anything that is absolutely essential to be adding? So there's definitely a thing as too much carbs because they really don't need the carbs.
Right.
And they burn calories first from protein.
Yeah.
And starch last.
And I would say also, I think that question, you can kind of lump in the grain-free versus grain-inclusive category. I think again, your dog best. I think some dogs just do well digestively on grains.
Sure, absolutely.
And I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't think it means that every single dog, if your neighbor's dog does really well on grains, that doesn't mean you should be having your dog on a grain-free or a grain-inclusive food.
Right.
I think we have come far enough with the whole DCM thing to realize, that is not
a thing. Yeah.
I would say in one of my biggest suggestions on anything that absolutely essential to be adding, moisture.
Moisture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether that's just water.
Yep.
Whether it's canned food.
Goat's milk. Bone broth.
Yep.
Cooked food even.
Yep.
Home cooked food. Kitchen scraps. So, adding kitchen scraps and leftovers from dinner are okay if you do it in the right way. So you don't want to scrape your dish into your dog's bowl.
Right.
You want to scrape your dishes of healthy home cooked foods that are not high in spices. You want to scrape those into a separate container. When it comes time to feed your dog, you get your kibble out or your whatever out, and then you add some of your own kitchen scraps to his bowl or her bowl. And that's how you effectively feed kitchen scraps without creating a picky dog.
Right.
Real
watermelon.
Food. Watermelon.
Strawberries. Cucumbers.
Yep.
Any fruits and vegetables.
My dogs love cucumbers. They know when I'm cutting a cucumber. So it's crazy. If they're in the living room or even if DeSoto's in my closet.
And they know the difference between a cucumber and a bell pepper?
Hell yeah.
Interesting.
They totally do. Huh. They come running for their cucumbers.
That is so fun. Cucumbers is my least favorite vegetable.
Oh, it's one of my favorites.
I love it. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate it. I love a good cucumber, but sometimes I don't.
I can just eat a cucumber all by itself.
I could, but I'm not going to love it. I don't know. It's
especially homegrown cucumbers.
Yeah, I guess that's different.
Best.
Yeah.
Which I didn't grow this year or anything. Christ. Okay. Nutrient, no starches. Essential to add.
I said this one was hard because I haven't done enough research on this, but I know a couple companies have really good multivitamins. You can
Dr. Harvey's always recommends adding an oil to their base mix.
Yeah. And that can be coconut, that can be olive, that can be avocado, that can be ghee.
Yeah. Don't do nut oils.
Why not?
They're
yeah, I don't do well on nuts either.
No.
I said goat's milk too.
Oh, definitely.
It's complete and balanced for the most part.
Yeah, it's like mother's milk. They can literally not just survive on goat's milk alone, but thrive on it. Are there any vitamins or nutrient supplement powders, like a dog version of protein powder, that could help make sure I'm covering the bases?
Nature's Logic used to have one.
They did. I wonder if they still do.
I looked it up. I don't think they did. They do. I'm sure there's something out there.
I think there is.
I
But
just don't know.
we're not sure. We can't answer that one, but we
Yeah.
will.
I mean, we can, definitely.
Yeah.
And goat's milk
Goat's milk.
in the meantime.
It is a full nutrient profile.
Yeah.
We currently carry the Answers goat's milk, which is a Pennsylvania company, but it is available nationwide. It is our favorite, even though we do love Bones & Co. That's an Austin, Texas company. Also independently owned, of course. I don't remember his name. Do you remember his name? He was cute.
Yeah. I don't know why I want to say Cameron.
I don't know. He was cute though. We carry their goat's milk as well. It's also fermented. They have a really cool goat whip that you can put on a licky mat. So those are the two we carry, and that is a great additive to any meal.
Yeah.
And we didn't really talk about green juju.
Oh, green juju is a great option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So green juju is basically like, so if anybody out there juices, you know how you have the pulp left over from after you juice? That's what green juju is. But they pick specific greens and specific herbs and things that have beneficial ingredients. Specifically, some of them even have bone broth in it. They do a squash formula. So that's another really cool thing that you can add in.
Oh, it's for moisture and for
Yep.
digestive aid.
Yep.
Anything really.
Maybe I should do green juju. Try that with D with his recent weirdness scratching. So I don't know.
We can do an episode about that too.
Yeah. Yeah. Did we cover what was her name?
Kate.
Kate.
Yes.
All right, Kate. We hope we answered all your questions. You know how to find us. Thanks for sending all of this. We love that you are transitioning more into a real food, whole food diet for your dog.
Yes.
And another great thing is to see what changes.
Yes. Follow-up episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
her.
Kate, let us know. And I know it's a husky. What's the dog's name?
I think his name is Moo.
Moo.
Yeah.
M-O-O?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And he's best friends with my sister's dog, Lilo.
Aw.
Yes.
All right. Well, we will follow up with how Moo is doing in maybe 3 months, 4 months.
Perfect. I love it. Let me add that to the calendar.
All right. So thanks for listening. As always, check us out on social media. Please give us a 5-star rating and
let us know what you think. Give us feedback. We want to hear from you. What do you want us to talk about? Like, tell us a story.
Yeah.
We're here for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Talk soon.
Talk soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.